to cover and you'd like to have them covered. We're moving on to our final speaker of the evening, Vicky Everett. Delighted that you've waited so long, Vicky, to present, and we're looking forward to your presentation. Vicky is Deputy Operations Manager in St John of God North in the UK, responsible for providing services for victims of modern day slavery and trafficking. And as I read the title, Vicky, I'm amazed that I'm even saying it, but I guess it's actually much more prevalent and the need for those services much more apparent at the moment. Vicky has oversees the accommodation and the support and the outreach services in Birmingham. She's been involved in health and social care industry for the last 25 years and has trained in victim-focused treatments. And really your talk today is about bringing that into a trauma-informed delivery system. So modern day slavery and trafficking, introducing a trauma-informed care approach within our services. Thanks, Vicky.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen with you guys, if I can. There we go. Okay, good evening, everyone. So as Fiona mentioned, I'm here this evening just to introduce you all to the modern day slavery and trafficking services within the UK and what St John of God are doing within those services. So at the moment, we're currently providing services to over 1,100 individuals across the UK. St John of God's provides accommodation and outreach support services to potential and confirmed individuals who have been subjected to modern day slavery and human trafficking. Our safe houses are located in Birmingham, Brighton, London and Middlesbrough. Within Aleo House, which is our homeless service down in London, we also provide accommodation and support services for victims of and individuals who are supported under the MSVCC contract. Our outreach services are located in London, Liverpool and Manchester. What we've recognised over time is the need for a trauma-informed approach within our services. The modern slavery victim care contract is a contract that came into force in January 2021, and it's a government contract that we're bound by to provide support to potential victims. And St John of God is a subcontractor for the Salvation Army and provides support under this contract. Through this contract, potential victims will receive culturally sensitive support to meet their needs, the recovery needs, and the process is called the National Referral Mechanism. We refer to that as the NRM. So just a little bit about the NRM. So the National Referral Mechanism is a process which identifies individuals as potential victims of modern slavery and trafficking. And under this, the NRM grants individuals access to the following support: safe accommodation where required, and that's in forms of us providing safe houses to people. But in outreach services, it's about where we access housing for people, and this could be local authority housing, it could be NAS accommodation, which is asylum seekers and refugees accommodation. And some of our service users, our clients, are actually supported in hotels at the moment, so they're being housed in hotels, and we're actually providing outreach support for them whilst they're in the hotel accommodation. The practical help and advice here that we provide is it's around whether people need access to food banks, whether they need access to clothing banks, religious services, LGBTQ organisation, colleges, education support, and classes for English as well. So we can provide help and advice where they can access these services. We provide interpretation and translation services, because you can imagine that this is quite important part of the support that we provide for people. We provide some financial support for people. The clients that come into our services are very often not got access to the financial support that they need. So it's really important for us to be able to get the access there. The contract enables us to get healthcare to meet physical, emotional and mental health needs for people as well. Specialist legal advice and education for school-aged dependent children. Many of our clients that we support have got children dependent on themselves, and within 3 weeks we need to be able to get the children into education. Within one of our services down in London, we do actually have a family unit where we've got 3 children in there where we currently provide support to their families who have been subjected to trafficking. We provide transport for important appointments such as home office appointments or any medical appointments, so we'll arrange the transport for people there. And then we've got the access to future planning support, so that's when they move on from our services. And then we can put a move on plan together that's individual to that person, but it enables them to be able to go on and live independently and rebuild their lives with the support networks in place that they need. So the support that we provide within our services, so once an individual is referred to our services, that's when we begin to provide the specialist support that I've described, and this helps us people to recover from their experiences and hopefully rehabilitate and rebuild their lives. Our services provide environments for individuals who have experienced trauma, and hopefully these environments are a safe place for them to come and where they can feel secure and supported. Within our teams, we've got highly skilled professionals, support workers, who multilingual teams across the services who communicate in a wide range of languages, which is really, really important to be able to provide that person-centred individual support that they require. So obviously, over the last 2 years, since we've opened our modern day slavery and trafficking services, it has become really, really apparent that we need to move on to a more trauma-informed approach and how we provide support. The people and the clients that we support have experienced trauma at some point in their lives, obviously because of the trafficking and the slavery that they may have endured. So we've looked at how we can do that. We've come to realise that trauma, you know, as people have spoke about previously, can occur when a person perceives or experiences threat, harm or danger or abuse. And it's really important that we've recognised that trauma is individual to each of the people that we support, and the trauma is individual to that person. And we've also recognised that the trauma responses and the coping mechanisms are highly variable and individual to that person. So with regards to the trauma responses and taking into consideration the clients that we support, we've really recognised the need to understand that these people, the trauma responses that we very often see are natural reactions to the trauma that the person has been exposed to. We see in our services a lot of self-harm, self-neglect, a lot of substance misuse, alcohol misuse. So we're actually now coming to realise that we need to recognise these as trauma responses, and also the physical signs that are coming from that as well. The headaches, the stomach aches, the pain, the difficulty sleeping, the nightmares and the suicidal feelings that people are experiencing. Also a big thing as well is the not trusting of others. So what we're trying to do is build that trusting relationship with our clients and ensuring that they've got a project worker that they can come and talk to, and that project worker actually understands the trauma that they've been through and the responses that they might be showing. So why do we need a trauma-informed approach to our support? Like I've said, we're thinking about the trauma responses individuals may have, and we've recognised the need to ensure that individuals coming into our services feel supported and understood by the project workers and the teams that are actually supporting them. We've also come to understand that we need to realise and respond to the effects of trauma and the impact that that can have on people's lives. And we've created environments that are supportive and take into account individuals' needs, which is really, really important to us. And we feel that by adopting a trauma-informed approach, we'll be able to empower individuals to regain control of their lives. A lot of the people that we support, because they've been through the trafficking and the modern day slavery, we have lost control of their lives. So what we're trying to do is get them to be confident and, you know, give them the skills to move on so they can regain that control of their lives. So how are we going to do this? What our aim is, we're going to not only train our modern day slavery and trafficking support workers and project workers, but what we're looking at doing is actually training the whole of our teams within St John of God's in UK. And that is in our learning disability services, our physical disability services, to have that trauma-informed care approach to their way of working so that they're understanding the impact of trauma and how trauma can affect people. We're going to adopt a trauma-informed approach to supporting those who not only access our services but work in our services as well. We feel that it's really, really important that we look at it as a whole approach, and by doing that we're going to be looking at it from a recruitment point of view, from induction into the services for people who are coming to work for us, and also through ongoing supervision. So our supervisions will become trauma-informed approach for the people that work for us as well. We're looking at the design of our services and how these will be delivered in a way that takes into consideration the psychological and the emotional needs of individuals using these services. And what we've done over the last 4 months, we've created a working group that will design a trauma-informed care practice framework, and the purpose of this group is to develop a model of practice that demonstrates how to support people affected by trauma using the principles and the practices of PBS framework. What we've recognised is the interlink of the positive behaviour support framework and a trauma-informed approach, so we're looking into that as well. We're in the process of producing a trauma-informed care framework that will be introduced throughout the services in St John of God UK, and this will be implemented throughout the services to enable us to become an organisation that improves our awareness of trauma and its impact on individuals accessing the services and those working within our services as well. We're in the process of developing a new policy that translates the trauma-informed care philosophy and puts that into practice, and hopefully this will help our colleagues understand why they are doing what they are doing. And I think most importantly of all, and you know, why we're here and what we're doing is so that the people that we support are not actually going through any re-traumatisation, and that we can help them move forward and we can help them gain control of their lives and start to live independently, but still provide the support that they need while they're going on their journey. And that's it from me for this evening. Thank you very much for listening and being involved. Thank you.
Super. And